actually speak about that
Well,
because I
okay.
believe that an atheist,
Atheists hate
you can't.
morality, bro.
Yeah, you can't. I
Yeah.
don't think that you guys, if you guys don't
Well,
believe in a God, then there is no
They hate
morality.
talking about
yeah.
morality.
All right. If that's what you want to argue, then what would be the two sides of that debate? It'd have to be
Well,
at a.
so I would say that morality comes. There has to be a creator. There has to be a God for there to be a standard of morality.
Okay.
Um, if there is
Okay.
no God, then where is that standard? And if there is a morality, then
Well, hold
you
on.
know.
That's a lot. That's too many
All right,
things.
all right, my
So
bad.
let's just go to the first one. That morality. Without a God, there wouldn't be.
There is no standard.
There's no standard. Well, what do you mean by standard of
There is
morality?
no morality. There is no.
Well, God.
No.
Well,
Okay.
There is no
what I would
basis
say
of
So
that
got
God.
it.
morality.
Got it. Okay. So then I would be. Then I guess the argument would be that you don't need God to have morality within humans.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
Okay. All right.
so what? So then, if I set out a morality, and
Mhm,
let's say brother Cecil or Gentile, if he
mhm.
says that, if he believes that murdering is okay, or let's just say rape is okay, is his that's his morality.
Yeah.
Does that make him wrong, or does that make him right in his eyes? Is he still right? Is that
So yeah, morality is subjective. You could absolutely be in a society where rape is okay and murder is okay. Moral.
That's what I said.
There's no
okay?
Oh,
such.
okay.
You can
Okay,
never.
so
You
y'all
can.
believe that.
But does
Well,
that make
no,
him
no.
right?
I just the way I believe it is I really believe that you cannot argue what's moral and what's not. It's
Okay.
impossible
Well,
to argue.
I
That,
would argue that again within. So would you
yeah.
agree? Hold on. With everybody here, do y'all agree that rape is okay?
I guess everyone here would say no, rape
Okay,
is not okay.
so then so then
But
I
there's
would.
no way to prove that morally rape is not okay. There's no way to prove that.
Okay.
Is
So
what I
atheists.
think.
So Blombees, you believe that it's not okay, but there's no proof.
No,
There's
no,
no proof that it's
no,
morally
not
not
that.
not okay.
Well, yeah, no, that there's no way to prove if something is morally good or bad. That's what I believe. Objectively. Now, society can come together and decide, no, rape is terrible, it's awful, it's a horrible thing, which I all agree with. But I think morality is always my argument would be that there's no such thing as objective morality, and I think most people would agree to this, and most philosophers, I believe, would always say morality is always going to be subjective. Eh,
I would
But this,
disagree.
how about
I
this?
That's what I
Some
said.
atheists,
That's what I
hold
some
on,
said.
hold on,
atheists have told me
wait.
What was that
Go ahead,
time?
go ahead.
some atheists have told me that murder is not okay because it it hinders the further advancement of mankind.
No, wait, hold on, hold on.
You would agree with that?
Before we do touch on
mm,
that,
mm.
because again, would you say is murder, or knowing that murder is not a good thing? Is that something that that we're taught?
Um, that I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Is that something that we're taught that murder is not okay?
Yeah.
Um, mm, that's a good one. I don't know. I don't know if
So,
it
so
depends
I
on.
would say I
Wait,
would set it
it depends on. Hmm,
again. So
I would
here, I'll
say
just
that
break this down. Why?
some people instinctually. So if we're not taught it, that means it comes from instinct. Let's say a feral child saw a murder or committed a murder. I think it would depend on it could depend on too many variables to determine whether it's okay or not. I mean, it's too many variables. The point is, arguing morality is not something that I would be interested in because, like I said, I can argue. You can argue that morality is objective, and I could argue against you that morality is always subjective.
Hmm.
But are you saying that morality is objectively immoral? I would say no, no. That's not. There's no evidence to be able to prove that.
Okay.
You cannot prove that murder is always objectively immoral, because morality, like I said, is always subjective. It is not something that is can be argued.
All right.
But what can be argued is the existence, or what I can argue that against the existence of the evidence that leads towards the conclusion that there's an existence of God. That's what I
Okay.
felt like
Let
can be
me ask you. Okay. So then let's switch the topic. Let's just lay that. Um,
immoral.
would you? Because I need to know this before anything. Do you believe that Jesus Christ existed, the man?
Historically, I would I don't know enough about the I would defer to an historian about that. If the majority of historians say that he did, I would take their word for it. I don't I hear a lot of people. I think historically it's likely, but I don't know enough about the history of the time, nor the historical texts to say for certainty. I would have to do more research. Like I really believe Napoleon existed. The historians all say that they did, but
Hmm.
I was never really taught that. But I do have a friend who's a big Baptist, and he argues that Jesus historically, there's evidence for Jesus's historical existence. Just that in and of itself, not that he was the Son of God, which of course he believes and all that, but there is definite evidence for that. I haven't looked into the evidence, so I don't know. Probably yes. I'll say yes, but I'm being honest with you. I don't know. It's not something like I know for sure, like Napoleon existed.
Well,
But
I was just trying to. I'm just trying to meet that middle ground with you, but it just
yeah.
doesn't. Because again, if you were to say no, then we would go deeper into just bringing up historical, like evidence and stuff like that. But I just
I,
maybe just meet at middle ground with me and tell me your like claim again. So how would you go about with trying to settle down that God doesn't exist or the evidence that God, there is no evidence showing.
Well, I cannot prove that God does not exist. I wouldn't be arguing. That's why
No, I
it's
mean
very
your
important. Yeah,
evidence, your
yeah.
evidence. I'm saying.
Well, I don't have evidence for the lack of existence of God, and I never would have evidence. I cannot do that. It's like saying when you make the claim, so you're making a claim something exists. Um, the onus is on you to prove that. Now, the very atheist, and this is the distinction that's super important. Atheism doesn't mean that we believe that there is no God. It means that we reject that the evidence is insufficient that there is a God. Like you could ask me, do you believe that a pink Spider-Man exists? A Spider-Man that wears a pink and outfit. And let's just say that it doesn't exist in the comics or any other reality. I would say I can't prove that a pink Spider-Man doesn't exist. It's impossible. I can't prove a negative. But I can assert the claim that I don't believe that the evidence is sufficient for the existence to lend me to believe that there's a pink Spider-Man, and I would call myself anti-pink Spider-Man, Ian. That would
Okay.
be
Do
that would
you
be my
believe?
term. So that's what an atheist is. When we call ourselves atheists, we're saying we reject the evidence for God.
Yeah,
And
there's not
yeah,
sufficient evidence to prove that
yeah.
there is a God.
So do you? Okay, then. So do you believe that there is a creator?
No, I do not believe that there is a
Okay.
creator.
So how would you go
That
about that the world came?
faith, I'm sorry. Why do I believe that? Because of that's my that's my
No,
okay.
he asked, how do
Yeah.
you think the world came? How do you think the
How,
world came about?
I
That's what
don't know. I don't claim to know that. I say we as a humanity do not know. It's possible that God did it. It's possible that we will never know. But as of now, I don't believe there is sufficient evidence to answer that question. Um, no idea. Maybe it
Uh,
just always was.
okay.
Yeah. And maybe, yeah,
So
Mm.
maybe somebody
see,
did it.
then it's kind of I'm not saying that you're making it hard on me. I just like
No,
you know
I mean,
there's
I'm
just
not.
no topic right now. You say that you don't know. So again,
Well,
I wasn't.
the topic is that the God as that there is no evidence that one should not believe that God is backed by any rational standpoint because there's no evidence for that for a specific God. It could have been God. It could have been Pink Spider-Man. The evidence is not there to come to a conclusion.
So there is a topic. I see.
Yeah, that would be it. That would be my argument. That lack of evidence to say that it's God. Um,
This guy who joined apparently runs the whole thing, but I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
So again, so I'm gonna just break. So your claim is that there's lack of evidence to even say that God, there is a God,
yeah,
right?
yeah, lack of evidence to really for the belief in a God.
Right. Well, like I said, I brought up, within just if Jesus Christ exists. I mean, you said that you would say so. You haven't really studied the historical
No,
evidence.
because like say Napoleon, there's many historical books. I doubt it's a big conspiracy that tried to make me believe in Napoleon when he didn't exist. Most likely Napoleon. I mean, I know for a fact if Napoleon doesn't exist, then my entire reality is a lie, right?
Mhm.
And the Bible, I just for Jesus Christ, I just know about the Bible as a source. But I bet you there are other books that talk about Jesus. So then we would have multiple sources, and then we could likely say, yeah, this guy probably existed. But I don't know about that. That would be a question I would have to defer to a historian. Um, Many historians. I wouldn't just defer the one. I would defer to many, right? Because why not? That would be the most rational thing to do.
Right, right. No,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't see us arguing that because again, if you don't
yeah.
disagree with me,
I don't. Yeah, no, I
What's the
don't.
debate?
Oh,
I
we're
thought
just
I was gonna argue for the lack of evidence for the existence of God, the atheist perspective. Um, if
Have
you
fun.
guys wanted to set that up.
JP's like, have fun. Yo, Aiden, can you do me a favor, take over real quick as I do something because I don't want to, just leave up real quick. But again, so again, we can leave it at that. But I would
Sure.
say, my first claim would be that if Christ did exist, and
Hmm.
it would be whether towards the evidence of everything that he said, and what he did. I believe that historically it can be proven that Jesus Christ was a real man, and I believe so. We have historical written accounts outside of the Bible.
Yeah, I can't. I see. I don't know anything about those, so I can't argue the validity of them. So
Right,
sure.
right,
Yeah.
right. So, but I'm just getting at that. If we do go through this historical evidence,
But
I wouldn't disagree. I would say that Jesus Christ existed, but then we have to go, to the basis of my faith. Did Jesus Christ raise from the dead? And
mhm.
that's where we have to get at. And if so, and it happened, then that proves that there is a God. And that would prove that Jesus Christ is God, because again, we know that no one has ever raised from the dead, and Jesus Christ, within obviously our faith, we believe that he did. So if that can be proven and that can be brought up, and we have some way of to understand
Right.
that that's even possible, and he did do that, and everything that he said was true, and he never
But
lied.
how would we be able to prove a historical event that
Well, again,
happened
we would have to go
like
into
that?
literature. We would have to
Right.
go into the Bible, and whether there is the time difference, literature within
So
itself.
right,
So
we would have multiple sources of literature would have to point to that, and we'd have to again really look at the validity of that literature. It would have to be that literature would have to be put under scrutiny. Is this a valid source?
mhm.
Is this a biased source? Has this source what other claims does this source claim to make? Its trustworthiness, its reliability. It's a lot, and that's why I believe that the atheist standpoint is it's a much simpler and more easy to swallow, at least from my perspective
Right,
standpoint.
but then it would be that if I'm gonna go a bit simpler. Then it would be that if you believe that there is no God, and we say that Jesus Christ is the only way to heaven,
Hmm.
and you would say that, oh, it's just the easier way to go about it. So then how would do you believe that there is an afterlife, or do you believe that we just
No,
die?
I don't know what I there's no way this claim. I believe that there is no afterlife. We just die. Absolutely. I wouldn't try to debate that because I wouldn't know what comes after the afterlife. I think nobody, unless somebody came back from the dead and told us, we wouldn't know what happens when you die. But from the way I see it, from the way that the world seems to work, when you die, you stop to exist.
Yes.
There's no more connectivity in your brain. You no longer exist, and that's
So
that.
you don't believe? Do you believe that we have a spiritual aspect to ourselves? Like, do you believe that we have a
Yeah,
soul or a spirit?
I don't know. I don't know about a soul. I think that scientifically that the soul doesn't have a definition what that would mean, but I do believe that humans are wired to be spiritual. All of us are. But atheists do
yeah.
not
Do
believe
you
in an afterlife.
believe in eternal oblivion?
Um,
Just mute
I don't
Wrath.
know. I don't know
Mute
what
Wrath. Mute Wrath. He
what
can have fun, but Birdo. I need it.
I don't know
Alright.
what that means. Like,
Just search it up.
is it
So
afterlife?
Yeah, just mute him. He said to search it up. Just
But
mute him. Just mute
he
his
What?
mic.
said he said he
But
doesn't believe in an afterlife, right?
so no. The answer, if that sounds like something related to the afterlife, and I would say no. Uh,
Hold on. Can you?
Yes.
I'm just trying to find your ground, but I'm just asking questions. I'll be right back though. I don't want to leave you.
mhm.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
So blind beast, I know you said you can't find a definition for what the human soul means, but the Bible says that that the human soul is a
Right.
person's emotions, it's a person's desires.
Okay.
That's what one soul is.
Well, that's
And,
okay,
we're all,
but
huh?
it's a yeah. The soul it comes from the Bible again, but I wouldn't I guess you could say the soul means spirituality, um, but it's not something that, as the way I understand it, like yeah, I can't argue. I don't know what I don't know. Okay, so what do you say the soul is? Is it a physical part of the body? Is it in the brain? I mean, is it
Well, I would say
morality?
the soul is incorporeal,
Hmm.
and again, it's
Would you say
and
that consciousness?
it's incorporeal because
Right.
because the soul is somebody's feelings,
Got it.
emotions, and
So
a
so
person's desires.
so consciousness basically. You would this consciousness is incorporeal as well. So you could say that the soul
Uh,
is consciousness.
well, yes, but I would say a person's
True.
consciousness would be their spirit,
Their
because
spirit.
I believe that
Yeah, that's
everybody has
fine.
their
I
body, everybody has their body,
hmm
their soul and their spirit,
Right.
and your spirit is your whole being, right? That's
Yep.
you, that's your existence, and
Right.
then we're all in this body,
hmm
right? Like, body of flesh, but we believe that you know
Yeah, I agree with all that.
yeah, yeah. So you agree that we have our body, our soul, and our spirit.
I believe that we have conscious. I believe that soul is the way I understand it is consciousness, and it's incorporeal to as far as I know. But I mean, actually, I want to hold up on saying incorporeal. That's actually no, I take that back. So I also, on top of being an atheist, I believe that I'm a materialist, a physicalist. I believe everything has a physical representation. I don't believe in corporeality, no ether, no incorporeal. So for me, consciousness is still based in this material world. It is made out of networks of axons and neurons and electrons and different sorts of chemical reactions. But it is as
Mhm.
close to incorporeal as we can get, but it's still organic matter, and it's cells, and it's a neural network. That's what I believe
Okay.
consciousness
So
is. Actually, I'm sorry. So I don't believe in corporealness,
yeah.
because I am a materialist. Everything has a material basis, including our very thoughts. They're just electrical impulses in our brain, as far
Mhm.
as I know. Um, but yeah.
Yeah. So like, well, I mean, I'd like to argue that because
But wait a
is it
second. Is
wait,
God
hold on,
incorporeal?
wait, hold on.
Okay,
So
okay.
like, because I like to argue that because is it possible to to take somebody's brain out of
hmm
that person and then take another brain out of somebody's person and then switch those brains in and then have not any of them die?
I mean, I don't, I mean, I believe so. We haven't done it yet. We've done a heart transplant. I believe a brain transplant should be possible theoretically. Absolutely. If you had enough precision tools, absolutely, it's theoretically possible. You would reconnect. What does the brain need? Oxygen and blood. You could put the brain anywhere you wanted, in a jar, absolutely. You could put it in a jar. Theoretically possible, yes, because it's not incorporeal. It's all material. It's a highway. It's a billion trillion highways, and if you could connect to each one, you could take one person's brain and put it on another person's body. They're actually doing a head
Yeah,
transplant. They're
it's in
working.
process. It hasn't been done yet, but they're working
It's in
on it.
process. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because
I mean,
theoretically, absolutely, no reason
I
to believe it can't be done.
I think
Will it
it's
ever be done? Maybe not.
scientifically impossible because once the brain is completely severed
Yeah.
and it loses blood, the
Uh-huh.
brain gets damaged immediately, right? It dies immediately,
Well, yeah, but
and
scientifically,
the
you could say
the,
that for any
the
organ.
damages are, but
Yeah.
the damage is irreversible.
No, no. Okay, sure. Once any organ gets severed from the body, it starts to get damaged immediately, right away.
Correct,
That's yeah.
but the brain is very very
Okay, well, that's a
how do you say
biological. Okay, yeah, very, very
um
sensitive to that stuff.
yes, it's a
I
very
don't-
very sensitive organ, and
okay.
there's nothing like the brain.
Okay, so it would take brain damage, certainly, but it would maybe it wouldn't be 100% as what it was because, but it would still I think it would still be there. But again, that's more a
How
question
do
to
you
you, a
think the
neuroscientist.
world was made? How do you think
Go-
everything came to be?
I mean, the planet. I think we have a good idea how the planet came to be. Neil deGrasse Tyson in The Cosmos talks about the formation of the planets. But if you're talking about the world as in the universe or existence itself, atheists,
Existence.
Yeah, we atheists, we say we don't know. We have nobody knows what happened before, and we can just look back as far as we can. And scientists claim that they can look back into the billions of years ago, and they look at something called cosmic radiation, which is like a way of uh, Neil talks about this in Cosmos a lot, but cosmic radiation tells us that the universe is X amount of years old, and the Big Bang. But what happened before the Big Bang, I have no idea. I know theoretical physicists are studying that, but I just haven't seen any evidence that it's what all the religions of the world are claiming, you know, that it's a spiritual
Do
deity.
you or do you not believe in the Big Bang?
I mean,
Yes or no?
it's like, do I believe in gravity? I believe that most scientists believe in it. Therefore, I believe that it is the closest thing to the truth that we have as of now. Just like I believe in gravity. Until majority of scientists say no, gravity is bullshit, I will
So yeah,
continue to believe in gravity.
Wait, you believe the Big Bang theory
Yeah,
is
yeah.
scientifically accurate?
I believe that the majority of scientists believe in it, so I believe that by the way that scientists do science, it must be accurate. Otherwise, they wouldn't conform to it. So yeah, by my understanding of scientifically accurate, meaning scientists say yes, yes, it is. It is definitionally scientifically accurate because the most scientists agree with it, and scientists are the practitioners of science. So I'd say yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Not, you could
I
say
I,
God
I
did the Big Bang, you know? Who knows who did the Big Bang? Just like the Pope, the Catholic Pope says that God did evolution. Oh, hold on. Hold
yeah,
on.
I was gonna
Hold
say.
on, hold on.
Drew's here. Hold on, bud. Drew's here. Don't
No, I'll
leave.
be right back.
you
I'll be right
asked
back.
what God? There's only one God.
Wait, hold on, Raph.
What did
Hold
he
on.
say?
Drew.
What's
I
that?
I see the I mean, I kind of do see Oh wait, he left the chat.
He's running back. Drew. Drew. Drew, stay here, bud. All right. He's coming back. Don't worry.
Where did this guy come from?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Oh yeah, my friend Drew's here.
I told him to join.
He's a philosopher. I'm just I went to debate class in high school.
Yeah, Patui's a philosopher.
Yeah, he philosophizes.
Yeah, so like I think I kind of like I do see like a loophole in in that in your belief. Like the claim that, oh, because scientists believe in this, then it must be true, or it must be accurate. But when
No,
you
not
look at
necessarily. No, not at all. I don't.
when
I'm
you
not
look
making.
at the whole of
I'm not.
the
That's not
Big
my
Bang
claim.
theory.
I'm saying that it's scientifically. When I say scientifically accurate, I mean it's has scientific consensus behind it. I'm not saying it must be scientifically accurate because science has always been proven wrong by the next form of science. The science that comes after that science, we're always changing. Science is always proving things true, more so, or proving things less true over time. The science of things always change. As of now, the theory of gravity holds up. That's why we call it a theory. And Big Bang, likewise, it's a theory. It is just a theory. Maybe one day it won't be here anymore. Maybe it still will. That depends on the science. If we gain more science towards it, we'll continue to believe more and more in it. And if we gain less science towards it, we'll start to discredit it and maybe move on from it. That's just the way science works. And I strongly believe in science. I think it is I think when you're sick, what do? Do you pray or do you go to the hospital? I mean, you can do both, but most people go to the hospital, you know, at the end of the day.
Drew, what
Well, yeah.
did you say?
Wait, Raph, hold on. Wait,
Just meet Raph,
um,
Danny.
so like, so your claim is that you believe in the Big Bang theory because scientists, a
how,
majority
how
of scientists agree with it.
yeah, how else could I believe in it? I wasn't there.
Okay.
I know nothing about
Yeah.
physics. Yeah, I'm just saying that it's
So
what's scientifically accurate.
yeah. So I would say that the reason why I can't believe in the Big Bang theory
Hmm.
is because it's scientifically inaccurate, and in fact it goes against like the something called
Thermodynamics?
No. It goes against. I forgot the name. It's like a scientific word. Like I think like I forgot the word. I think it's like the theory of science or
Well, then
Hey,
why then?
hey.
But the majority of scientists believe in it. Would you say that the majority of scientific practitioners are going against the theory of science?
no. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to find the word.
Like
The
take smoking for
scientific
example. Would you argue that
scientific hypothesis.
smoking does not increase the likelihood of cancer? It does, right? And the reason that I believe that smoking increases likelihood of cancer is not anecdotal. It's not because I know many people who have gotten cancer from smoking. I didn't come to that conclusion myself or through my observations, but I like everyone else here agrees smoking causes cancer statistically, right? And that's because that's what the science shows. And for the
Hmm.
longest time, doctors said you should smoke. It's fine. And doctors and smoked, right? And they turned out that it was wrong. It's dangerous. The science wasn't good then, or if there was any science at all back then about smoking, who knows? But now there
Yeah.
is.
So
Are
I don't
are
I
you
forgot
comparing
I forgot what the word is. I think it's
Am I comparing what?
are you comparing something simple as a doctor or a scientist figuring out smoking causes cancer
Mute
to
him.
the
Danny,
existence of the
just mute him.
world?
Mute him. Trust me, just mute him.
Why is it simple? It took 70
Just mute
years.
him. Just mute him. Just mute him. Trust me.
Doctors said you should, doctors in the 50s would say you should smoke.
yeah.
Now doctors
Hold
do
on.
not.
I just ask everybody. Please don't jump in. Like
I
I'm trying
wouldn't
to
say
have
that.
a
I wouldn't
one-on-one.
say that it's simple. I would say that it's simpler. No, I'm just trying to say that it is a way to look at how science works. Science tells us that smoking causes cancer. Most of us believe in that. Ergo, that's why we defer the science, because it has a proven track record of being right. Religions have come and gone. Christianity is 2,000 years old. We had Zoroastrianism, we had Egyptianism, we've had so many religions. You're all atheists as well. Atheist is a lack of belief of deities. You don't believe in Zeus, by definition, you're an atheist because somebody else believes in Zeus. You say there is not enough evidence for the existence of Zeus. I would agree with you. There is no evidence for the existence of Zeus. That's why you never spend any time thinking about Zeus, and you're not worried at all that Zeus is going to strike you down with a thunderbolt because you could care less about Zeus. You don't care about Athena or Ra or
Athena,
the
ooh.
Athena, who cares, right? We're atheists towards Athena. You're all atheists too. I'm just believe in one less God than the rest of you. That would be the Christian God. But
Yeah.
when I
So
say that, I mean the Abrahamic God, by the way, not just Christian. I don't want to single Christianity out. Judaism, Islam, Christianity, all of it. The Abrahamic religions from Abraham.
yeah. So like going back to the Big Bang Theory. The reason why I say it's scientifically. Wait. Hold on.
I mean, it has a scientific consensus, just like smoking causes cancer as a sign. But maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe the Big Bang doesn't have a scientific consensus. I'd have to look into it.
Yeah. So yeah.
No,
So
it
like
does.
I
It
would
does.
say like it's scientifically inaccurate because
Oh,
the only thing that the Big Bang Theory does is just prove that the whole entire world had an origin point. That's the only thing that it does. It just says like, okay,
It theorizes,
we
doesn't
all we
prove.
all had an origin point.
Hmm.
Now
Yeah, that's right.
the
And
the
what happened
the,
before that?
beautiful thing
Some
is
theories, some theories is that the universe collapsed and came out, and other theories is that the universe other theories is that the universe spawned out of another universe. I don't know, just whatever. It's just theories, but let's. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go on.
yeah.
I don't know.
So
The
so
Big
what
Bang is
all
complicated.
what all scientists do agree on is that they're like we all had an origin point, right? We all have an origin point. We all
I
came
mean,
from something.
yeah,
But
rationally
what the Big
speaking,
Bang wait, please don't cut me off.
yeah.
So what the Big Bang Theory um does say is that nothing that nothing created something. but that's scientifically
Oh, wait a second. That's interesting.
impossible.
Right, correct.
Nothing can't come from something.
Right.
So,
Nothing can't
but
come from
that's what
something.
but that's why people do believe in the Big Bang theory, because
Well,
they don't want to believe in a God, so they'll rather believe that something came from
well,
nothing.
does that what is
So
that what Wikipedia says on the Big Bang Theory, that it was nothing before? I don't believe it's making the claim, because I know no, you know that a scientist wouldn't say they know what happened before the Big Bang. So
right,
in order to say it came from nothing, then you would have to be omniscient or omnipotent, and no scientist is saying that. There's no way to know what happened before the Big Bang. We don't say
Mhm.
nothing. We say we don't know. It could have been a giant Alice in Wonderland universe that was before the Big Bang. We don't know, and we'll never know, most likely, unless science gets really, really good. But that goes back to the physical cosmology map. I told you about that. Not nothing. We don't know where something came from. We're saying we don't know. We're not making the claim that something came from nothing. And I know scientists aren't either. They're saying we don't know. But we do know that we believe that all the atoms were like all together, and space was empty. Space had no atoms. It was just the ether, which is that's as close to in what was that word you used? Intangible and incorrigible? I forget.
Incorporeal.
Incorporeal. Incorporeal, yeah. Space was empty, no, and not a single atom. All the atoms were like in a teaspoon, right? And then
Mhm.
all the atoms spread out, exploded, and that's the universe. And they're continuing to explode out, and the universe is expanding, and we know this we can prove. In 100,000 years from now, when you look into the sky, you won't be able to see any stars because everything is going away from each other. There'll be no more
Mhm.
galaxies to look at in hundreds of thousands of billions or trillions of years or whatever, because or billions,
The red
because
light, the red light frequencies.
each
Hold on,
not, yeah.
are you saying that the universe is dying out in a way?
I believe yes, the universe is dying.
Okay, so then that proves that there was so okay, so there was so are
I don't
you
know. Wait. The word wouldn't be dying. It would be the universe is experiencing entropy. Eventually,
but that's
uh,
an ending, so that
that's
means
just another
that's an
word for
ending.
dying.
that
It's
means there was a beginning to
yeah,
it.
yes, the Big Bang. Yes, you're correct. Absolutely correct. That's an ending. Yeah, it's an ending.
Yeah.
But who knows? No, but there's a theory that when the universe ends, I hope this to be true because it sounds cool. When the universe does end, and when every atom is disconnected and every atom is by itself, imagine every single atom, all billion quadrillion times a billion of them, is all by his lonesome, just floating in space with almost zero heat. We call that the heat death of the universe because heat is energy. Then it'll all start over. All the atoms will coalesce back into one, but that's just a theory. Who knows? And the universe will do it all over again. But yes, there's a beginning and an end to the universe. That's what the science shows. I'm not a physicist though. I didn't expect you to argue physics. I just was going to argue against the lack of evidence of existence of God, but I can. But I recommend watching Neil deGrasse Tyson's Cosmos because this is where I learned everything I'm telling you guys. And he's an atheist and he's a scientist, astrophysicist, and it's pretty enlightening, his stuff.
Yeah, I
Me-
mean, the only thing that science can go far is, because science is the study of how the natural and physical world works.
Correct.
What it can't go beyond is to the spiritual world.
It cannot.
And so, if you don't believe in the spiritual world, then I can't really, I can't really, do anything. But what I am arguing is that I do believe in a God, and I believe that that God was Jesus Christ. That my God is Jesus Christ, the one who came, 2,000 years ago. Now, what you can't say is that Jesus Christ is not a real person. And I know you said, you still need to study. There's a lot of,
Well, that would be
historical
arguing the
documents.
historical basis for Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't. But let's go back to your first point that science cannot study the spiritual world. I believe that spirituality comes from within. It is a belief set. Study Science can study spiritualism. It could study the
No, it can't.
effects. It could study the concept of spirituality, the effects of it. It can't study the spiritual world because the spiritual world is it does not exist in this material world. It is a belief that it exists. I would argue that spiritual world, if you want it, is maybe the human consciousness. But you look, either the spiritual world
Oh, Reese.
is a
So
real
then you
world.
believe. So then you believe
Where
that
is it?
this
Where is the
consciousness
spiritual
is
world?
intangible.
But where is it though? If it's intangible, meaning you can't touch it, you can't see it. But is it a place that you can physically go to, the spiritual world?
No, because it's not physical.
It's not physical. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But if science will, yeah, it's like saying, can science study the universe of Marvel? Well, I mean, it's who knows if the universe of Marvel is an idea, it's a concept, and it has characters, it's populated with ideals and morals and characters. Science can study the effects of Marvel, profitability, its effect on humanity, psychologically, anthropologically, sociologically. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is a concept. It is a belief. In your case, it's a belief in a different realm. Okay, but I would say that science would say there is insufficient evidence to say that such a realm exists, and therefore that's where faith comes in. You have to have faith that the spiritual world exists because there's no
Right.
way to, because science is using your six senses to deduce things. So yeah, just like God, I would say that scientifically there is no way to deduce God. You need to have faith, and that's fine. Believe it's fine. Believing in God is fine. My argument would simply be that there's no evidence, and when I say evidence, of course, I mean scientific evidence for God. Yeah, so,
Okay.
no scientific. I wouldn't argue anything related to morality, of course. But it's always fun to argue morality, but it's always subjective, and those arguments are someone says I think rape is moral, and somebody says, well, I think rape is immoral, and well, what can you do? The argument ends there. You know, there's no way, there's no proving, no way to prove it, because morality is a subjective thing, just like you believing in the spiritual world is a subjective thing. But what's not subjective is the sky. We know it. That's an objective statement that the sky exists. We can see it.
Danny, ask a question for Cecil, bud. All right. Cecil's been waiting for this.
For Cecil? What do you mean? I'm not here to ask questions. I'm to debate. Cecil can ask me something.
Cecil, go ask Danny something. Come on. Oh man, Cecil. Never mind. All right, Danny.
I can't hear Cecil.
Neither can I. I don't think he's talking.
Okay.
Just say you want to talk to the JP, all right? That's all you want to do, bud. He's the big boy here, all right? Reese, how about Reese? Reese, how would you say something for Danny? Reese, come on. This is the one chance you're gonna talk to my brother, bud. All right. Danny,
Yeah.
you done here?
I guess. I mean, if you guys want to,
Feel free to ask him questions, right?
yeah.
All right, Aiden, you done?
I mean, I can talk about morality though, if you want to, and how atheists also can have a set of morals that are just as valid as Christian morals.
Yeah, but Danny, don't get the wrong impression, bud. This little chat is like a prelim to if you were to be on the debate stage. Trust me, all right?
Okay.
Just so you understand that, bud. So,
But I mean, if someone wants to talk about morality though, I mean, and how atheists can have a valid morality system that works just fine. I mean,
Danny,
that'd be easy.
you gotta use less. You gotta use smaller words, bud. All right?
Oh, that's me. Why should I don't think so.
I think so. I think so.
That's insulting. Why?
Because this is a prelim, right? All right, Danny, I'll call you one of them the guys here. I'm just gonna call you privately. Right, just leave.
All right. Yeah. I think I want to do debate.